In today's video, we're taking a look at how to clean the inside of the glass of your oven door, easy and simple. This is so easy, anyone could do. Everything that we use on the video, we're gonna leave a link on the description. And don't forget to like the video and subscribe. That does help us out a lot. So you woke up today and you've been looking at that oven. It's been eyeing you back, then you look at it back, and then you say, it's on. You clean the glass on the outer parts on both sides, but it still looks dirty. This ends today. And now that you're motivated, don't worry. Here at the StatUpBox team, we've got your back. The first thing that we're gonna do is open the oven. As you can see, this one's clean, and we did that on our last video. If you want to check out how to clean your oven, we'll leave a link on the description of the video. It would go from old to new. Now, if we notice on the inside of the oven door, we're gonna notice some screws, but the important ones to us are the ones on the top. These are the ones that when removed, they're gonna let you open the door in half and have access to the glass on both sides. So now that we have that information, then we can move on to the second information. And that is, you'll see at the beginning, or if you want to call it the end of the door, you're gonna see two latches on each side, one on the left side and one on the right side. This is what holds the door when it opens and closes it. But if you notice, it has like a little tab that you could pull up and down. Once it's down, that means that your door would not come off the stove. And no, we're not giving you ideas for your friend, family, or loved one in the household. So we lift up the tab latches on each side, even though that you can remove the screws on each side and leave the door connected to the stove. It is a bit more dangerous because remember, the door has glass inner metals holding the weight of the door. Meanwhile, you open the door, meanwhile you clean it, may be dangerous and very tiresome. So that's why we choose to remove the door and place it safely on a table. And here's the pro tip. Having a helper or an assistant or Watson will come a long way. So either if you choose to remove the door and clean it yourself, or you choose an assistant, in our case, dear Watson, we are basically gonna hold the door tight, then just like we were closing the door, but we don't fully close it, we lift it up a little bit and it should easily come out the stove. Now that the value of your stove went out the window, we're ready to start working. A pro tip, placing a piece of cloth or moving blankets on the table would prevent any scratching on the table and on the door. We're gonna start with the screw on the left side, and remember the ancient rule of lefty loosey, righty tighty. And before we remove the other screw on the right side, do remember that in some cases this screw is what holds the handle to your oven door. So holding the handle or placing that on top of the table so it won't fall off and create big deductions to your monetary pockets is the way to go. If in your particular stove the handles do come off by removing these screws, then we want to place it to the side as well as the screw. Remember that you're a DIY boss. If we start with certain amount of screws, we should end with the same amount of screws. If not, we throw them in the screw bin with the other ones that are left over from other projects. And now, this is where safety is the number one thing. The last thing you want before eating a hot meal is to die or to get injured. And then your friend, family member, or loved one is going to remind you how there's no stove now, you're injured. So let's go and try to avoid that. In our case, we're gonna use a microfiber cloth and we're gonna remove all the dry dirt. Then using some warm soapy water, we're gonna go ahead and clean that grease away. If you wanna use a stove, oven, glass cleaner, that's up to you. Remember, you are the king, queen, both or none of your castle. Don't let anyone tell you otherwise. We have your back. 6 to 12 feet back, according to the guidelines, but we do have it. For the hard to get places or where the gunk, grease, or dirt it's really stuck in there, we can use the green part of a sponge or a green scrubber sponge as well. And if you've seen our how to clean a stove glass top, we use a little bit of soap and a blade and a lot of safety or a spatula to remove the really hard stuck on grime. If you want to check out that video, we're going to leave a link on the description. Now we're going to go ahead and dry it with some paper towels. You can use a microfiber cloth as well. And basically what we don't want to do is leave anything wet in there, because once we close it, we don't want to have to open it again. Now with the help of Watson, we're going to turn it over to clean the other glass. And we're basically going to use the same technique. With a dry cloth, we're going to remove all the dry stuff. Then after that, we're going to use some soapy warm water and optional a scrubbing pad or a sponge and remove that grease away. And then at the end, we're going to dry it. And a pro tip, you do want to see the glass on both sides just to make sure it's clean before you go ahead and place it back and then have to disassemble it back again. Now that the glass is clean on both sides, on the inside of the insides of the insides, we're ready to place our handle back. We like to use the table to hold the handle or have Watson hold the handle. Meanwhile, you put on the screws. You can start on one side and end on the other. And don't forget, lefty loosey, righty tighty. Now making sure our door hatch is down and the little tab is up, we can reverse engineer our door back to the stove. We basically start a little bit raised, then insert, lower it down, and then bring it down to the full open position. We're ready to put the tabs back down, and now you have conquered the door dragon. You have slayed the dragon once again. You are the DIY boss of your house. Don't forget, if you liked the video, please give us a thumbs up. That really helps. If you have any questions, place them in the comment section below. Either someone in the StatUpBox team or someone in the YouTube community can help you out with an answer. Don't forget to subscribe, follow us on social media. Thank you for watching, and here's a link to our latest video.